we see that whatever happened to this nation happened to the previous nations as well. So just like in this nation, there were those who came after the Sahaba and they invented doctrines from the Jahmiyyah and the Qadariyah and the Khawarij. There were Khawarij and likewise the Murji'a. Amongst the Yahud and amongst the Nasara, there were the same types of people. There were the same types of people. So for example, and this is the example I want to give, is that after Isa alayhi salam, there were those who believed in him, and they believed that Iman is qawlun wa amalun. From the followers of Isa alayhi salam, they said, al-imanu qawlun wa amal. They were his true followers. They were his Sahaba, his companions. They were the Salafis, right? The Salafis from the followers of Isa alayhi salam. So remember, this meaning in the hadith is for every prophet. Because in the hadith it said, مَا مِن نَبِيٍّ بَعَثَهُ اللَّهُ. There is no prophet except that he had helpers and aiders and they stood his guidance. So from the followers of Isa alayhi salam were those who believed that Iman is qawlun wa amalun wa i'tiqadun. And then from them were khuluf, those who came afterwards. And they did that which they did not, they said that which they didn't do. And they did that which were commanded. And the head of those people is that apostate by the name of Paul or Saul. Because what he did is he came and he said, Iman does not have actions. Adhering to the Shara'i, adhering to the Torah, not necessary for salvation, to be saved. Righteous actions got nothing to do with Iman. Rather, Iman is just that you believe in the blood sacrifice of Isa alayhi salam, that he is your deity and your Lord. So he reduced it down to ma'rifah. Ma'rifah. He was a hardcore Jahmi. He was Jahmi in Iman. He stripped actions. He stripped the Shara'i. And he said, all you need to do is just to say, Isa died for my sins. If you have that knowledge in your heart, you are now a believer. Perfect in faith. You have redemption. You will be saved. This is a Jahmi from the Ummah of Isa alayhi salam. Kadhab, Khabith, Mubtadi', Dal, Munharif. Imam of misguidance. Who stood against him? The Sahaba of Isa alayhi salam, the Ansar, the Hawariyun. And wallahi, there is in what they have with them in the revelation today, you will be amazed. It's as if you will be reading, I'm going to read from you a passage. It's as if you are hearing the speech of Ibn Battah. It's as if you are hearing the speech of Al-Lalaka'i, or Ibn Taymiyyah, or Imam Ahmad. Wallahi, you will be amazed. So in what they have with them in what they call the Injil, in the Epistle of James, part number 2, verses 14-26, he says, now James, he is from the actual followers of Isa alayhi salam. He's from the original Ashab Hawariyun. And it's known historically, even in their books, that they admit that there was followers of Isa alayhi salam in Jerusalem, and they were opposed to those people who went to Rome and Greek and Paul and those innovators. And there was a conflict between the two. Now look at this. This is on the issue of Iman. On the issue of Iman. He says, and this is a rad against the Mubtadi'ah. He's doing what we find in the hadith. Right? He says, what good is it, my brothers and sisters, if you say you have faith but have no works? Right? When he says faith, he means just what's in the heart. And when he says works, it means what is action, right? This is like a funny type of English. If you bear with it, the meanings will become clear. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if you say you have faith but do not have works? What good is it for you to say, yes, I believe in my heart, but there's no amal, there's no a'mal? He says, can faith save you? Meaning just the i'tiqad by itself, can it save you? If a brother or sister is naked and lacks daily food, meaning has no clothing, has no food, and one of you says to him, go in peace, keep warm and eat your fill, and yet you do not supply their bodily needs, what is the good of that? Meaning, if someone poor and needy comes to you, they say, look, we're hungry, we need food. And you say to them, go in peace, go and eat and keep warm. But you don't give them food. You don't give them clothing. So what good is faith with no actions? Without any actions. Right? Look at the point that he's making. Look at how he's making istidlal from the nusus of the actual Injil. The actual Injil of Isa al-Islam. He says, so what is the good of that? How will it benefit? So faith by itself, if it has no works, is dead. Iman, i'tiqad without amal is dead. But someone will say, or he continuously says, he says, show me your faith apart from your works. Meaning, show me where is the Iman without deeds. Show me Iman without deeds. And I by my words will show you my faith. I by my works will show you my faith. Meaning, that by my deeds which I do, this will be me showing you my Iman. By my righteous actions. He says, you believe that God is one. You believe that God is one. You do well. But even the demons believe and shudder. Wallahi, this is like a rad of the Jahmiyyah who say Iman is ma'rifah. Iman is just to know Allah, right? That makes Iblis a believer, yes? This is the same rad from the Sahaba of Isa al-Islam. He says, you believe that God is one, you do well. Even the demons believe, even the shayateen, they know that Allah is one. You foolish person, do you want evidence that faith without deeds is useless? It's as it's as if you're reading the Salaf speaking the speech. Was not our ancestor Ibrahim justified by works when he offered his son on the altar? Now in the Injil it mentions Ishaq. This is probably them playing about with the Injil. It's Ismail, right? So he's saying, look at Ibrahim. Was his Iman not justified, meaning proven, by the fact that he offered his son as a sacrifice? This is amal now. He went, he put him, he was about to cut him. All of this is amal. This is a proof of his Iman. So he's saying, look at Ibrahim. Wasn't his Iman justified in this manner with amal? He says, you see that faith was active along with his works. So there was Iman and there was his works at the same time, taking place at the same time. And thus, and faith was brought to completion by works. How is the Kamalul Iman? How is Kamalul Iman? It is by al-wajibat wal-mustahabbat, right? So faith is brought to completion by works. It's as if you're reading Kitabul Iman of Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. Iman, you know, the way he mentions an asl of Iman, and the Kamal of Iman, and the Kamal of Iman is Kamal al-Mustahab, and Kamal al-Wajib, and so on and so forth. All these meanings you see present here. He says, first the scripture was fulfilled that says Ibrahim believed God, and it was reckoned to him as righteousness. So meaning that the scripture, the shar' and the nusus of the wahi, they have been fulfilled, which said that Ibrahim was a believer in Allah, and that he was one who was righteous, and he was called the friend of God, the Khalil of Allah. Look at that. He was called the Khalil of Allah. I mentioned this, James, from the Sahaba of Isa, he mentions that he was a Khalil of Allah. Why did he become the Khalil of Allah? Because with Iman he put works next to it. This is his proof now, rad against the Jahmiyyah. Paul, Saul of Tarsus, the apostate, the kafir, the mulhid. He's refuting his arguments. So then he says, you see that a person is justified by works and not by faith alone. Meaning that salvation, safety in the hereafter is by amal along with Iman, along with belief in the heart. For just as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is also dead. So the body with no soul is physically, it's actually dead. And Iman without any amal is likewise dead. Now tell me, ya ikhwan, tell me that this is not what you see in the writings of the Salaf. And the saying of the Salaf, Al-Imanu qawlun wa amalun, yazidu bil-ta'a wa yanqusu bil-ma'asi. Right? Is this not the same? It's identical. And this is because the haqq is one. And the Sahaba of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, they were upon the same thing that the Sahaba of Isa alayhi salam were upon. And so these are the Salafis after Isa alayhi salam. And we are the Salafis after Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So this is just one issue, the issue of Iman. There were other issues as well, the issue of Qadr, the issue of Sifat. And all of this, what it does is it gives us yaqeen, gives us certainty that what we are following is the truth, is the haqq, it is aided by Allah. And so long as we follow these traits and these characteristics, which are mentioned in this hadith, of affirming the truth and standing by it and defending it, as Shaykh Rabi said, as he advised with, then we know that protection and safety and success in this life and the next is something Allah has given to such people.